All right, getting back into robots, getting back into another 40th anniversary, and we're going to be looking at some more Transformers stuff. Now, I'm really excited about these. These are the ThreeZero MDLX line of Transformers figures. If you're not familiar with the MDLX line, we haven't done anything on this channel yet. We've done the DLX line, which is that Optimus you see over my shoulder, a little bit taller, has light-up features, a little bit more intricate, a lot of parts on that thing, a nice mixture of die-cast and ABS plastic, just like these are. I want to say the MDLX line stands for Mini DLX line because they're a lot smaller. They're only about 6-7 inches in height. Very similar to the Red series from Hasbro, even the Super 7 Ultimate series you can just see over my shoulder there. So these are the MDLX Transformers figures in their vintage animation colors. So basically what they looked like in the show. So really excited about these. They were a limited release. I think they might still be available for another batch of pre-order. I'll put the link up if they are. They were available through Big Bad. I think Entertainment Earth had them, but they were a limited release on the ThreeZero website as well. So today we're going to be looking at Megatron. But in future sessions, videos, I'm going to be checking out Optimus and Bumblebee over here because the whole line of the vintage colors so far are just these three. There's a Starscream coming up, but he's a regular edition and not a vintage colors edition, so hopefully we'll get him in the future in that version. But I don't want to look at all three of these at once because I want to spend enough time on each one and I don't want to try to rush through it just to fit all these in a shorter segment. So we'll be putting these to the side for now and we'll be checking out Megatron. I want to start with Megatron because he's getting a lot of attention lately. Not only is he just a great character and a great figure, but we had that Roboson Megatron that was just announced as a transforming Megatron, voiced by the original actor as well. So very great time to be a Megatron fan. So looking at these boxes, and they're really cool, the boxes just themselves. You can see it has that great throwback to the 1980s packaging with the grid lines on there, the purple coloring, the character on the front. Of course, what's going to be different is the rest of the packaging. On the back, you're not going to have that battle of all the Transformers with the power level and the red pixelated segment in the card that you reveal with a little highlighter. That's not I mean, this is just going to be the standard MDLX packaging, but it has this great vintage aesthetic to it. They all kind of do, which is really fun to have that grid line and then the colors, and then his little quote of "Peace through tyranny" on there. So it's really great. You also have that 40th anniversary logo on there, 40 years of Transformers. So you can tell that this is special to the anniversary of Transformers. So that's enough on the packaging. Let's crack this guy open and check him out. All right, well, I saved myself a step taking him out of the box. He just slides out of the side there, and we have our figure here. And he's going to come with his fusion cannon and an assortment of hands all right there. I don't want to tilt it too much because it's going to fall out. And then we're going to check out this character here. I'm really excited to see him. I think he's just absolutely amazing. I was really pleased with how he looked in the promo photos, and now I can see him up close. He looks great. He's got that little squiggly design on the chest there that was synonymous with the figure and the vintage style look there from Hasbro. Same with the chest box. And he's got those great gray, black, and red outlining colors, especially on the inside here. Great attention to detail. And you could tell that this Megatron is the original gun version of Megatron and not the tank version, because you can see the grips here for the Luger that he turns into. So they kind of kept all of that on this aesthetic, and I really enjoy that. I think that looks great. And his, and like I said, this is the figure that does not convert, so he's not going to turn into the gun. But he has some great articulation on him. You can see in the knees here, his feet move, and they kind of have that like robotic feel to them, like they're on gyros or something. You could have his elbows bend here, his wrists, his shoulders will extend. He has that nice ball to it. So a lot of great range of motion on these on this figure. Like it comes out, the shoulder blade parts move as well. He even has the hip parts articulate as well to give you a little bit more room to maneuver that leg up. So you could really get that leg up there. Whoop, and I knocked it out. The great thing about the ThreeZero though, and I noticed this before, is if you ever knock out a part, it doesn't break. It just kind of knocks it out of place and you just pop it right back in, just like that. So that's back where it is. So don't worry if you overdo it on the paneling there. It's kind of designed to fall off without snapping, so that's great. So there's an example of that. I meant to do that. So yeah, I think there's a certain way to maneuver where you could still have him maneuver without knocking the panels out of place. So that is our Megatron and all his movement glory there. So then we have the fusion cannon, and it comes in a couple parts, and there's a lot you could do with it. So I mean, I'll show you how to mount it on him, but if you wanted to, you could essentially assemble it the way it's supposed to be assembled, like this, and put it on his arm. Or you have the option of taking the pieces apart and rearranging them, so you could have it come out like this, or you could put it in here and have it put it in here and then have it come out the front as well to have this extended look on the barrel. Or you could scrap that, put it on his arm like you're supposed to, and it fits in here, and there's only one way to fit on. There's a holder in there, so it goes right into the position, so it's nice and firm on there. And then you put this back into here, and this should plug into here, and then you have that look where the gun barrel comes up behind him as well. So some options you got there to play around with the fusion cannon. I think it looks great. So you could point that fusion cannon, look tough, however you want to display them, but it's on there really, really solid. That's not going to fall off. And then you have some hand options, which we showed you guys just a second ago. We'll check those out. So he's got a pointing finger right here for his right hand. I really like that one. He's got a kind of a grasping hand for the left. He's got more of a, I don't know, I want to call these choking hands on the left and right, or just like kind of snatching hands. So he's got an assortment of hands, but he has the fist too. So let's try that pointing finger one, because that looks kind of fun. That came off really easy, as you saw there. Really like that hand transition. I didn't have to put a lot of effort into it. Let's see if it gets on as easy though. That could be the trick sometimes. I feel like the plug just moved in as I try to put the hand on. So here we go. Oh, nope, that is not that easy. After we had a perfect removal, now we're having a hard time putting it on. So let's try to get that hand on. That peg is just moving around on me. This happens sometimes. Like I said, you could always do that dryer method where you kind of like warm up the hand a little bit to get it a little bit more loose. But now we got that pointing finger, and there we go. He could point at his enemies, and we can put that cannon back on. The cannon goes in really easy once you get it lined up. Like, they have it set up that it only really goes on one way. So he could do his point, and then he could do his power pose where he has his fist in the other hand, and he could extend his barrel, and then he could have an assortment of other hands to put on there. I'm not a huge fan of hands moving on things because I feel like they break and then you're kind of stuck. So unless they were hands with articulating fingers like I've seen on the Playmates line, I just don't like that because those little joints do break, and it's very problematic because there's no way to fix it. There's no way to get a replacement part. You're just kind of out the whole figure. But in this case, it seemed to work fine, but over time it worries me that it would break down. So yeah, I mean, he just looks really, really great. You can feel the metal, the die-cast components mixed in there with the ABS plastic components. So it's a hefty character for being so small, but not as heavy as a solid metal part. And like I said, you got a lot of great movement here. The legs rotate out, so you could have some really nice poses if you wanted to. You could get them down on one knee, and you could do that superhero pose if you wanted to. I'm really bad at doing that pose. I did it with the Iron Man we had from ThreeZero. But you could get him down there if you needed to on one knee, and you could have him stand. You could have him look like he's flying, because that's how Megatron got around. Even though he turned into a gun, he flew. That was like the save they had for the character. So yeah, you could do a lot with this character. He's got a lot of posing, and he just looks great. And I love this vintage color. Like, I thought it was pretty cool and I wanted to get one, but when the vintage colors were announced, I'm like, that's going to be the one I get, because I just love that throwback color to him. So that is your look at the MDLX Megatron Vintage Animation Edition. I hope you enjoyed this brief look at Megatron MDLX from ThreeZero and his vintage animation edition look. I think he's really cool. I have him doing his kill shot right now, and she's always kind of doing the kill shot. It's always kind of sideways. So it's really fun. It's a great looking figure. It really reminds me of that classic look. And you know what we have right here? We have the Super 7 Ultimates Megatron, which we looked at just a couple weeks ago. So you can check out that video as well. And you can see a lot of similar design aspects to it. Of course, this is almost exactly the cartoon, and this is kind of, you know, more of a throwback to both the cartoon and the action figure, which had that design on the chest. I don't think the cartoon one did. But he had the shiny chest plates, and this is more of a exact replica of that cartoon look, so he doesn't have ridges on the arms and everything. This one had, like, the cannon did not want to stay in there that well, so I like how the cannon is a little bit more supportive in here. So this is just kind of a rehash of their standard Megatron MDLX, and they just repainted it for the that classic color look. So it has all those features that kind of look a lot more like the figure, like the original action figure, and like their own take on it as well. But this is going to be just sort of repainted. It'll look more like this guy with the little red joints in there and all the different contrasts and that gray and the black. So it really captures it. Roughly the same size. I want to say he's maybe a ½ inch, maybe an inch shorter. You can see back to back, they're very, even the little fusion pipe is like just about the same size. Very close in size. But this one is going to be made of metal. It's going to cost a lot more. I think this retailed around $99. We'll have links if it's still available. I'm not sure. I didn't follow up and check on that. It might have sold out pretty quick. But these retail around $99, some are $129, some are like $60. I think Bumblebee was only like $60. So it depends on the size. These all retail around, I think, $60 to $65. So they're all kind of in the same ballpark. But these came with a lot more accessories. If you're really into a cartoon Megatron and want the closest thing you could have to a cartoon Megatron, I'm going to steer you toward the Super 7 Ultimates Megatron. He looks exactly like cartoon Megatron, has a bunch of cartoon-specific accessories, and the price point is going to be a little cheaper because it's plastic. If you want a really more high-end kind of miniature Megatron for display, the ThreeZero MDLX is going to have that nice die-cast in ABS plastic combination. They're going to have a variety of characters and a variety of looks. This is the third Megatron they did. They had an original Megatron. They had a comic Megatron, which was really popular and sold out quick. And then now they have this vintage animation style Megatron. So they also have Thundercracker, Starscream, Optimus, Nemesis Prime. They have Bumblebee, Cliff Jumper. There's a whole line of Transformers MDLX figures. Go check those out. Definitely worth it if you're really into Transformers and want something a little bit more high-end. If you want something extremely high-end, you can check out the review we did of that Last Night Optimus on my shoulder from the DLX line. Those are really, really nice. And they have a variety of figures in those as well, from both the movies and from, I think, mostly just the movies. I think they only do the movie ones. So check that out. Those are available through Hasbro Pulse. Those are available through Big Bad and Entertainment Earth. So you can get those a couple places, and they're available direct through ThreeZero as well. So that's all for our look at Megatron, our first of our 3 MDLX Transformers from the Vintage Animation Edition style. We'll be taking a look at Optimus next. I'm not sure if I'll get to them. It'll probably be a week or so until we get to them. We have other stuff we want to show you guys that's new as well. So we're mixing it in, so we're not just doing the Transformers, but I will get to all of them in May. I promise you that. So we will get to the other 2. And then we will have other things. We're going to have more Ninja Turtles. We're going to have Indiana Jones is going to come back. We're going to have a whole mix of other stuff to show you guys as well. All mostly new stuff. We might throw in 1 or 2 of our fun little retrospective videos, but mostly new stuff this month, so keep coming back for that. So until then, as always, we ask you to like, subscribe, and follow. Let us know what you think of our segments, what you like, what you don't like, what you want to see more of. We'll try our best to do that. Ask us questions. We're always happy to answer, and if we don't know, we'll reach out to the manufacturers here and try to get an answer for you guys. So that is all for this time, and we'll see you guys next time.